smoothing it.
Bam. Hey folks, Jeff again, Mill Creek Bushcraft and Survival. Got a lot of stuff going on out here. We just got back from the Appalachian Trail. My wife and I did a little section hike, Hughes Gap to Highway 19. Stayed at the Mountain Harbor Bed and Breakfast. And every time I've said that, I've wanted to say bread and breakfast. Anyway, I digress. I had a video that I wanted to do, and I've got that video in the works. The day's getting shorter. Getting off work at 3:30, coming home, and I got to find deer hunting time in there somewhere, so I've really pushed for time right now. But I wanted to do a video on using walnut hulls to dye stuff. I've got, before we left for our trip, we went and picked up a bunch of walnuts. They're about half and half black, some of them still green. I have heard that the green ones actually produce a darker dye, and I've also heard that the darker ones produce a darker dye. I really don't know if it makes any difference, but either way, I wanted to show you a little bit of what I was doing, how I was getting these hulls off, maybe give you some ideas. So let me show you what I've got going on down here. All right, that's about as good of an angle as I'm going to get, I guess. First thing I guess I need to say is don't think you're going to do this unless you've got some super heavy rubber gloves without getting this crap all over your hands. I took some old leather gloves that I had and I put them over my rubber gloves, and still I think it's even coming through the rubber gloves even though they don't have any holes in them. But anyway, I wanted to show you before I actually started doing the dyeing how I was getting these holes off. It seemed to work pretty good for me, and basically what I would do is take one of these walnuts. Maybe I won't jar the camera too much. Take my machete, push it down through that hole, and just roll it. And they tend to roll right out of there. Some of them are further gone than others. Some of them have actually got, and this one right here has even got, I don't know if you can see them in there, they're little, they look like maggots. I don't really care, because I'm going to put them in water, and whatever happens to them will happen to them. I'm wanting to dye out of them. They have been sitting around, like I said, for about a week, because my wife and I picked these up before we actually went on our hike. I'm taking what's left when I get the actual walnut out of there, and I'm laying them outside on an old rabbit cage. Gonna let them dry out, and hopefully maybe we can get some of these walnuts. That might be the wrong way of doing it, I don't know. I've never done this before, but I wanted to show you what I was doing, and maybe we can learn together. Alright, so here's my, I think that's a number 3 wash tub. It's about half full of these walnut hulls. I've got about half of what we picked up shelled or husk or whatever you want to call it, hulled, and I really don't think I need all of them. I'm going to fill that the rest of the way up with water. I'm going to put it on top of my fish cooker, heat it up a little bit, and then we're going to see how it works. I think before I fill this thing up anymore, I'm going to take me a 2x4 or something and just go down in there and crush them up. I guess you can already see how that's staining that. I'm going to go on and get some heat on it. Okay, so I have made a corporate decision to wait, let this soak till tomorrow. Maybe that'll give it time to leach some of those tannins out of there and get it as dark as it can be. When I get in from work tomorrow, I'll turn on my cooker to heat it up a little bit, and we'll try to dye some of our stuff. Kind of show you where I've got my walnuts and all laid out here. So there's the cooker, and here's the old rabbit hutch that I've got my walnuts laid out on. It's left. I'm gonna let them dry there. And I'm not sure if I'm doing that right, if you're wanting to save the walnuts or not, but that's how I'm doing it, and I'll let you know how it turns out. Alright, so it turned into a couple of days. It rained, and this stuff has been sitting out here, these hulls have. They've been soaking for 2 days. I think that's probably a good thing. I don't know. I've got my fish cooker under them, heating it up. Like I say, we don't have a whole lot of sunlight left. So I'm going to go on and put all this stuff in here and let it kind of soak as it warms up and see how it's going to do. Most of this stuff is just painter's drop cloth that I have made different things out of. This is some Bushcraft chairs. I don't think I have a video of me doing them yet, but I plan on it. It's basically just a piece of painter's drop cloth, and it's got a tube on one end and a tube on the other, and you make a tripod. I'll hopefully do a video on that one day. But I've got 4 of them with the mule tape that I cut to use on them to tie them to the top of the tripod. And then I've just got some bits and pieces of painter's drop cloth that I had left from other projects, and I'm just going to go on and color it. I don't know, I might make some haversacks or something out of it. Well, let's put this in here and see what it's going to do. I'm just going to use my 2x4. Just kind of put them in there one at a time. I'll be honest with you, this painter's drop cloth, I'm not crazy about it as far as material goes. I took some the other day and I thought I was going to make me some pretty good char cloth out of it. That doesn't work. And I think the reason that it don't work is because that it's not 100% natural. It's got a lot of, I don't know, nylon or polyester in it or something. And I don't know how well this dye is going to do even. But we're going to give it a shot and see how all this turns out. There's one in there. There's 2. There's 3. Okay, so here is the final product from using walnuts to stain the painter's tarp. I think they turned out really good. I have rinsed them a couple of times and they're holding on to that lighter brown color really well. They were a little bit darker tarp, these were, painter's tarp, than this one on the end. You can see it's a little bit lighter, but it's just a remnant. So I'm pleased with them. I'm going to probably treat these with a wax canvas coating and be done with them.
Well, I was born down in the Southland 20 some odd years ago. I ran away for the first time